was fine. Yep. Okay, no worries. So I wasn't sure how we should refer to that. So I should say it's a stunning day here. Yeah, okay. We go that way, no worries. Good. Let's have fun, mate.
Meantime, Zinedine Mashash looking to make the point. Save, he surely has done! A goal on debut for the Frenchman. A chance to drive forward. Oh, that's a wonderful strike. What a hit from Costa Grozos. And the Jets are all square.
What a start to the A-League season it was for the Melbourne Victory. That 2-0 win away from home in the Big Blue. Their supporters on what is a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Melbourne will be hoping for more of the same to begin this A-League's campaign in style after a disappointing season last time out. But the Newcastle Jets are plucky under their new coach Robbie Stanton. They enjoyed a 2-2 draw away to Perth and will be hoping to be party poopers in Melbourne this weekend. The goal scorers last week, Apostolos Stamatolopoulos managed that for Newcastle, as did Bruno Fornaroli for the Victory. Daniel Garb here in commentary alongside Phil Moss. And Mossy, this promises to be an interesting showdown between the two.
Can't wait for this one, Garby. Bruno Fornaroli, as we know, a proven goal scorer. Apostolos Stamatolopoulos starting the season really promisingly last week over in the West. So this should be a great showdown this afternoon.
100 goals in all competitions were notched up by Bruno last weekend. 36 years of age, still going strong. He leads the line for the Victory this afternoon. It is a gorgeous afternoon in Melbourne. Will those supporters be singing Bruno Fornaroli's name yet again? We'll find out in a moment. The Victory and the Jets in round 2 of the A-League is not too far away. Kickoff is coming up soon. Make sure you stay with us.
season is upon us. Lights, camera, action.
This could seal it. Wouldn't you know it? Unbelievable.
The celebrations, there they are.
Talk about a grandstand finish.
Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The fairy tale is complete. The Central Coast Mariners, champions of Australia.
Yeah, hello and welcome to Amy Park in Melbourne for this round 2 Isuzu Ute A-League clash between the Melbourne Victory and the Newcastle Jets, and what is a fantastic afternoon on a Sunday in Victoria. It is the Victory coming off that impressive 2-0 win over Sydney FC away from home last week up against the Jets, who enjoyed a 2-2 draw in Perth to start their campaign, their first A-League men's game under Robbie Stanton. The Victory, 4-time champions of the A-League, but their last championship came in 2018, a long time between drinks for a club of their stature. And after finishing 11th last season in arguably the most disappointing campaign in the club's illustrious history, they'll be after a strong season this time out. And this is the Melbourne Victory side. They are unchanged from the team that beat Sydney FC 2-0 away from home. Bruno Fornaroli scored his 100th goal in all competitions last week. He again leads the line with Daniel Arzani and Nishan Velupillay either side of him. Zinedine Mishash certainly made a name for himself on debut with the goal as well. All eyes will be on the Frenchman as he tries to run the show in midfield. Roderick Miranda is the 8th permanent captain of the Melbourne Victory. He wears the captain's armband in the heart of defence. And there is Zinedine Mishash. Came through at Toulouse, the same club as Socceroos player Denis Genreau. His goal as he bursted through midfield last week was a moment that had the Victory fans singing. We'll wait and see if they'll do so again for him this afternoon. The Newcastle Jets make 2 changes. The captain, Brandon O'Neill, is back after suspension in that holding midfield role. And there's a first ever start in the A-League for Lockie Bayliss. He came through at the Central Coast Mariners, and he'll be looking to add some pace to the Newcastle Jets attack. Going out of the starting lineup is Trent Bahaja, as is Dane Ingham. 2 changes made for coach Robbie Stanton. And there is Brandon O'Neill. A big challenge for him to try and keep Zinedine Mishash quiet. He's got a big reputation. He's a former Socceroo, and he'll be looking to lead this Newcastle Jets side. Daniel Garb here in commentary. Delighted to say that I'm joined by Phil Moss. Good afternoon, Mossy.
Afternoon, Garby. Looking forward to this one. And that man there was very quiet through pre-season, Tony Popovich, but boy, did they start with a bang last week in that big blue with a massive victory. Looking forward to this one today.
Big campaign for Tony Popovich. Probably hasn't been under pressure like this in his coaching career in Australia before. And he certainly knows that he needs a big campaign for the Victory. Robbie Stanton, look, it's probably goes under the radar a little bit at Newcastle. It was a coaching change in the off-season that people did see coming because of the unrest at the football club. But he's ready for this. He spent a lot of time in the background, hasn't he? And he wants that head coaching job, and he started well in the opening round. He
did, and I worked with him at Sydney FC. Very thorough operator, Rob Stanton, a great guy, and I really wish him all the best as he launches into his senior managerial career.
The referee this afternoon is Jonathan Barrero. The assistants, Daniel Elievski and Peter Jaworski. And the 4th official is Jack Morgan. The 77th A-League game for Jonathan Barrero. There is Jason Hoffman, 9th all-time on the A-League appearance list. He leads the Jets in that category, obviously, with 212 appearances. And Lockie Bayliss, what an afternoon ahead for him. His first ever A-League start. The word is that the pace is well and truly there. He'll be looking to get at this Victory defence early and to try and test them. A nice crowd building. Around 15,000 expected here at Amy Park. And they'll be hoping the Victory can make it 2 from 2 to start the campaign. Those supporters in full voice, as always, full of anticipation for a season that needs to be a lot better, Mossy, for all of the Melbourne Victory.
It certainly does. Way below standard for a club that size last season. Tony Popovich is the right man to drag them back to where they should be at the top of the table. but they have to do it.
It's the Victory who gets things underway. They look to put the Jets under pressure. Here's Ryan Teague into the feet of Fornaroli. Lockie Bayliss with a touch early on. That'll help calm his nerves. Mark Natta sends it forward, headed away by Adama Traore, the Victory left back. Here's Valupale. Damien De Silva. Captain in Miranda. Forward to Valupale. Dispossessed. And Jason Hoffman continuing his role as a centre-back. Clears the ball forward for the Jets, but the Victory have it back through Traore. Short to Machach. Valupale eventually gets to his feet for the Victory.
Yeah, I think it's a good move by Rob Stanton, bringing Jason Hoffman inside and allowing Carl Jenkinson to really focus on what he's made a career from, and that's as a marauding right fullback. And he was very good last week, Carl Jenkinson, injecting himself at just the right times, good delivery into the box. It certainly helped Newcastle get that point away.
Daniel Arzani's won back possession for the Victory. Looking for Fornaroli, cleared away by Hoffman. Well, I think Australian football fans want to see more of that from Daniel Arzani, harassing opposition fullbacks.
100%. We know his ability on the ball, and that was just a quick snapshot of it there. Fantastic delivery, pouncing on a mistake from Newcastle, too slow in possession. Look at that for an early delivery from Arzani. You could see exactly what he was trying to do there. But it's that quality, and it's also an increased work rate off the ball. Arzani can put the two together, and we all know that he's got the ability to play at a higher level overseas.
Lucas Moragas just dwelled for a moment. Daniel Arzani didn't need any invitation. Tony Popovic will be desperate for more of that from the 24-year-old in Arzani. Here's Carl Jenkinson, former Arsenal Premier League player. Guerrier wins it back for the Victory. Now Arzani on the football. Can he get at Moragas? Victory will kick the ball out of play. Adama Traore with an issue.
Well, that was from the coming together with Carl Jenkinson a little bit earlier. Play was allowed to continue. Adama Traore hasn't returned to his feet since, as he clutches that right ankle.
Hopefully he's okay. I've got Stefan Negro on the bench and some big names on the Victory bench, the likes of Chris Economides and Jake Brimmer, a Johnny Warren medalist who can't yet make his way into this Victory starting 11. Lee Broxham can't even break into the squad right now.
And that's a really good sign, as we see. This is where the collision... No, that was a little bit later. The collision had happened a little bit earlier. So Traore did return to his feet, but looks like he can't continue. But you're right, Garby. It's a sign. It's a good sign for Tony Popovic when you've got those type of players on the bench and out of the squad. So it means that the depth is much improved.
Not ideal for Tony Popovic, though, to be mulling over a change at left back. Adama Traore in his third stint at the Melbourne Victory. 12 caps for the Ivory Coast. Spent 3 seasons at Western Sydney. Such an experienced A-League player who still performs at such a high level. So I'll probably give him some time to try and walk that off. I'll rejig things defensively for the moment. De Silva sends it long. Looking for Fornaroli. Mark Natta lets that run into the waiting arms of Ryan Scott in the Newcastle Jets goal.
Tell you what, A-League's All Access, fantastic episode. Bruno Fornaroli during the week, just giving a snapshot of what drives him, what motivates him. All young players should get hold of that episode and watch it and listen to the words that he speaks.
It includes a cameo from Luis Suarez. That should get you on board if you weren't yet already. The Jets moving it forward to Bayliss. Cuts inside. Here's Brandon O'Neill. Jenkinson on the right, puts the cross in. Paul Izzo. It's a run out. Took a deflection though, and it's a corner, which the Victory goalkeeper isn't happy with, because I think he could have kept that in, or maybe in fact he carried the ball over, and that's led to the corner.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look at that. the second time. I thought it was deflected off the boot of Carl Jenkinson. So I'm not surprised it's ended up in a corner, but Izzo obviously didn't get a good look. Here it is here. There is no deflection. It's hard to tell from that angle.
It's the Frenchman Bertomia to put the corner in. He puts Izzo under pressure. A chance for the Jets, and Mark Natter has bundled it home. What a moment for the young centre-back. His first ever A-League goal at Amy Park of all places. And 6 minutes in, the Victory are stunned. The Jets 1-0 up through the unlikeliest of sources.
Well, what a start for the away side as we see the ball delivered deep on the Harvey Norman replay from Moragas, I beg your pardon, and it's Carl Jenkinson up at the back post who just nods it back into a good area for that man there, Mark Natter, to get his first A-League goal. What a moment for him. What a start for Newcastle Jets.
Mark Natter, 20 years of age, a product of the Western Sydney Wanderers, was given a chance last season under Arthur Pappas. They've stuck with him at the heart of the defence, and that is his first ever A-League goal. They don't come much easier, but they don't come arguably more important than that.
That's right.
Away from home.
You've got to be in the right place at the right time, don't you? And he kept his composure. Fell to his left foot. Nice little tap in for him, but it was great delivery from Moragas to the back post, and Carl Jenkinson didn't give it up. On the flip side, Tony Popovich will be launching an investigation into how Victory defended that set piece.
Well, the Victory all of a sudden need to respond quickly. They're trying to do so. Here's Daniel Arzani looking lively. His shot deflected and out for a corner.
And that's exactly what you want from Arzani, on the ball, in those areas, in the mindset to attack that Newcastle Jets defence and ask questions. It's been a lively start from him.
The perfect start to the A-League season for the Melbourne Victory last week. They did not expect this 6 minutes in. Down to the Jets. Arzani's corner to the front post. Is Ray Marchand. Back to Arzani. Full of confidence. Hits the byline. Here's a chance to equalise. And Bruno Fornaroli has done that. 2 in 2 for Bruno. What a start to this game at Amy Park. Isn't he excited? 1-1 just 8 minutes in.
And it's that man Arzani that puts it on a platter for Bruno Fornaroli. What I love about this goal is that Bruno Fornaroli finds the back of the net and he bolts back to halfway as if to say to his team, come on, time to wake up. It's time to crank the wheel. This is not the Melbourne Victory. As we see on the Harvey Norman replay, Arzani gets at his defender, Moragas, and he puts it on a platter for Bruno Fornaroli. He does not need a second invitation from there.
Well, that's what Daniel Arzani's all about. That's why he made headlines in 2018 at the World Cup in Russia. We've always known the talent is there. It's the consistency, it's the application defensively at times. But Bruno Fornaroli will love that sort of service. The Newcastle Jets defence perhaps could have done better to clear it. What a start to the season for Bruno. 36 years of age and a goal in the first 2 games of the campaign.
Magnificent. What a signing he's been for the A-League. Fornaroli, he's not just a goal scorer, he's a personality. You can see the passion that he brings to the league and the shirts that he's played in. But what about that for a statement? Finds the back of the net and then just sprints back to halfway. That's the type of inspiration you want from your senior players. What a start to this game, Garby.
Fantastic. Exactly what you want on a Sunday afternoon. Plenty of football around the nation, but this one is certainly grabbing the attention. And here are the Jets asking more questions of the Victory defence. So Bruno Fornaroli, 101 goals now in all competitions, 3rd all-time in A-League's history.
Good news from a Victory point of view. It looks as though Traore is moving a little bit more freely on that right ankle now.
An early goal for each side has certainly livened up the crowd. They're up and about as the Lupulai pops a stray hand from Carl Jenkinson. Not much in that, of course, but free kick paid. Cole Jenkinson, such an experienced campaigner, so committed to everything at the Newcastle Jets, loves it in Australia, an England cap to his name. He's starting at right back for the Jets for the second week in a row. Jason Hoffman at centre back. The Newcastle Jets defence to be tested once more. Punched away by Ryan Scott.
It's a good fist from the young custodian. He was very, very good for Newcastle last week over in the West. In fact, almost single-handedly kept his side in the contest so they could go and grab the point late.
Here's Guerrier. Throw in deep for the victory. Fornaroli, chests it to Zinedine Machach. Traore from distance, that's a long way off target, almost out for a throw-in. Just squeezes in for a goal kick to the Newcastle Jets. So 11 minutes gone, a pulsating start to this game at Amy Park.
It's remarkable that 11 minutes have already passed. There's hardly been any football played in the middle third of this pitch at Amy. It's all been at either end. Long may that continue because it's produced 2 goals.
Here's De Silva. Captain in Miranda. Traore, short to Machach. Now Valupale. Clips one over the top, looking for Fornaroli. Hoffman clears. Now O'Neill under pressure. The victory, looking to pounce and press high. Free kick to the Jets, offers some respite against Traore.
Well, it didn't come off on that occasion, but that is wonderful pressing from Melbourne Victory. Really aggressive, trying to force the contest, put Newcastle under pressure every time they touch the ball.
Here's Moragas and Alzani doing the strong defensive work and letting him know about it. Bit of feeling in that battle between the two.
Fantastic. That's exactly what you need from Alzani. It's what he needs for his career to go to the next level. That mindset, that attitude towards defence. One of the main criticisms of him. It's not the quality he possesses on the ball. It's a really good sign.
The Jets just need to stabilise the touch here, perhaps. Keep some possession. Their goal scorer in Mark Natter does well to find some space. And then open things up for Clayton Taylor. He's dispossessed well by Guerrier. Now Ryan Teague looks over the top for Valupale. Ryan's got a long way off his line. He's able to clear. That was dangerous and daring, but ultimately successful from the Jets goalkeeper. The pace of this game being maintained in the early stages. Here's Valupale. Swap wings now with Alzani. In fact, Alzani's still on the right. Machach wins it back. Happy to recycle it. Back to Marchand. Ryan Teague looks to go forward. Finds Machach on the right. Inside to Alzani. First time back heel to Machach. Tries to burst through midfield like he did last week against Sydney. Wins it back once more. The Jets defence without any time at the moment. Eventually they give it up. Brandon O'Neill, though, can only send it upfield. For Stamatolopoulos, and the Victory win it back once more.
Well, it's coming down to this pressure that Victory are putting on Newcastle. They can't steady on the ball, Newcastle. The home side giving them no respite.
And Alzani is at the heart of everything. Look to get at Moragas again. Victory fans will enjoy those tricks. He's never been short of confidence, Daniel Alzani. He's backing it up at the moment. They've moved it out to the left-hand side, and Traore. Victory have won a corner. You can hear Costa Grozos saying to his teammates there, it's too easy.
Yeah, that's right. Victory are moving the ball at pace. The ball speed's been fantastic in these early stages. On that occasion, Adama Traore his last touch just got away from him a little bit and he lost the opportunity to whip the ball in to a good area. Still, the corner, the end result, not a bad one.
Alzani on set piece duties. Cleared away by the Jets, but Fornaroli scored victory's goal. Keep it in. Off Grozos. Victory throw. Spaniard Marchan. Real Madrid product. To the feet of Velupilay. Likes to come inside. The 1-2 with Machach. Velupilay sends it just wide. They all seem at it right now in victory colours.
They're in the mood, Garby. They are in the mood. Velupilay with some wonderful skill. You'll see it just before that passage there. His first touch to create some space for himself to then play that 1-2 was absolutely sublime.
Lozani on set piece duties. Of course, Jake Brimmer usually has those responsibilities, but he's still on the bench. So Lozani taking him, goes short to Ryan Teague. The back it goes, and De Silva's header was over for a goal kick.
You can just see the body language from Melbourne Victory, the confidence they will have gained from winning that big blue away last week. They've started this game full of running, full of energy, full of belief.
They want it back again through Alzani. Miranda. Traore to the feet of Fornaroli. Flipped over the top from Velupilay to Traore. Hoffman wins it back. Velupilay, excellent second effort. And that's a free kick. Well, he's frustrating the Newcastle Jets defence, Velupilay. Another chance for the victory to put the Jets under pressure. What an atmosphere it is at Amy Park. Let's get down to the sideline and Michael Zappone.
It is high octane, Garby. The North Terrace is back. They've reformed and they are making plenty of noise, and the players feed off it. I don't care what you say. You ask any player that's played here at Amy Park, especially Melbourne Victory players, and it has an impact of what you see on the park, and we've seen it here today. Daniel Arzani's been outstanding for Melbourne Victory. That pace, that chase, and that sharpness is back for Daniel Arzani. Great to see.
And that gets the crowd going as much as anything. Thanks, Zappa. Chance for Arzani to put the Jets defence under pressure once more. Ryan Scott with conviction, able to claim that overhead off his line.
Yeah, good hands from Ryan Scott there under a bit of pressure. But Velupilay winning that free kick against Jason Hoffman is just another sign of the intention of these Melbourne Victory players to make something out of nothing. Jason Hoffman absolutely favourite to win that situation. Velupilay forced the mistake and then the foul.
Zani with another touch. A chance for the Jets to ask a question here. Here's Clayton Taylor. It's inside. The Frenchman, Betomier. To Natta. Managed to get his name on the score sheet in the A-League for the first time ever in the opening 5 minutes. Side to O'Neill, the skipper. Nice ball to Moragas. It's behind Clayton Taylor. Taylor wins it back, gets around Jason Guerrier. A chance here for the Jets. It's across the face. Jenkinson back to Grozos. O'Neill will have a shot on goal, just wide, but that's far better from Newcastle.
That's a great retort from Newcastle Jets there. Clayton Taylor right at the heart of it. Some wonderful footwork on the left-hand side. So we see him turn and then use some quick feet to get him behind. And that's a great delivery into a dangerous area for Newcastle. No one on the end of it. And then Brandon O'Neill, we've seen him find top corners from that distance before. Just off target on that occasion.
And it was O'Neill's pass, of course, that set that play up. One touch on the left. Released Clayton Taylor. So that'll give him some confidence, Brandon O'Neill, back from suspension. He's an important player for the Newcastle Jets. He needs to lead them this season. Done it before in his career, but At a time when the club needs some stability on the pitch, he looms large in that sense, doesn't he, Mossy?
He certainly does. He's a fantastic leader, fantastic personality in the dressing room.
Here's Moragas. His cross to the back post. Traore needs to watch this carefully. Grozos with him. Does well, Traore, but the Jets win it back. Here's O'Neill once more. But Tommy are on the left. That was fizzing across the goal of Paul Izzo. And all of a sudden the Jets are enjoying some possession in attack.
Gee whiz, that was not far away from Batomier. Fantastic technique to keep that hard and low. Look at this fizzer. It hits the water bottle. That is not far away from Izzo's far post.
They must have caught a deflection as well, because it's a Jets corner. They've responded nicely after the victory equalised. And then attacked at will. Corner to the front post. O'Neill with the side foot effort, cleared away by De Silva. Some issues for the victory when it comes to defensive set pieces, and Ryan Teague just clears it so they can try and find some sort of setup defensively.
Well, I'll tell you what, the first 21 minutes of this game has been a shooting gallery at both ends. This is very good from Newcastle when they've come back into this contest.
Hoffman clips it over the top, looking for Stamatolopoulos. Have a header from Teague to Miranda. That's in a dangerous area from the victory captain. Here's Grozos. Batomier. Wide to Moragas. Gets inside Arzani and around him. Inside the 18-yard box. Lucas Moragas with a fantastic run. The victory clear it, but the left back all of a sudden has responded to Arzani after those early jibes.
Fantastic footwork here from Moragas as he cuts inside. Arzani sells himself too easily there, but Moragas takes full advantage, drives into that box. Couldn't quite get the power on the final strike.
Just couldn't sort out his feet at the end, but it was a jinking run that will give him a lot of confidence. So that battle is a fascinating one. Arzani against Moragas. Just when Daniel Arzani thought he had him on toast, he's all of a sudden being asked some questions the other way.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the standouts from round one, Garby, with Newcastle away to Perth Glory, was even when Perth were dominating, Newcastle didn't go away. The character in the dressing room, obviously something Robbie Stanton has really worked hard on. It's a big, big season for the Jets. That was a standout last week, and you'd imagine it'll be the same again this week.
Stamatolopoulos and Bayliss pressing high on the victory defence, and they've caused the turnover. And the victory do have the throw in just behind halfway. It's the Frenchman De Silva. Miranda, Benfica product. Europa League runner-up with them. Also won the championship with Wolves during his time in England. Big responsibility asked of him to be the captain this season under Tony Popovic. Silva. The pass is wayward. So the Jets doing some pressing now, and all of a sudden feeling a whole lot better about the situation of this game. After taking the lead through Mark Natta, victory responded almost instantly through Bruno Fornaroli. And then put a lot of pressure on the Jets' defence. But Newcastle got a foothold back in this game. Fantastic first half here at Amy Park. Ryan Teague. Achan under pressure, as is Arzani. The Jets all of a sudden snapping at the heels. Going to be a fascinating watch all season long, Daniel Arzani, isn't he, Mossy? I mean, we know about the immense talent, of course, but I think a lot of people are of the opinion that if Tony Popovic can't get him right, then who can? The signs are good early on, but we want to see it maintained, obviously. And if so, well, anything is possible still.
Yeah, that's right. There was always an air of optimism with the move down to Melbourne victory for Daniel Arzani under a mentor like Popovic. We know his disciplinarian ways. And I think for mine, that's exactly what Arzani needs. He needs some real structure. He needs to be challenged. He needs to be loved. And he needs to really find that intention to defend when his team hasn't got the ball and work hard. And all the early signs are very good.
I mean, he should be really a permanent member of the Socceroo squad on talent. And he needs a big campaign in order for that to happen. Perhaps this is the season where it all comes to fruition. Of course, his body has let him down in the past as well. Looks a lot fitter. He's going to be one of the must-watch players throughout this Isuzu Ute A-League season. This has been a much-watched game. 26 minutes in. Victory won, the Jets won. Goal apiece inside the first 10 minutes. Here's Marchand. Well done by Bayliss to put some pressure on and win the ball back for the Jets. The 1-2 with Taylor from Bayliss. And move it out to Jenkinson on the right. The Englishman cuts inside. Now Brandon O'Neill just lost his footing but kept going. Touch from Balupale. Recovered by Teague. Here's Guerrier. Teague again, the Sydney FC product. Back after a couple of seasons in Portugal, and Balupale felled there by Jenkinson. That battle's been going on in the background in this first half as well, and it's a booking for the Englishman.
Yeah, it certainly has been brewing and bubbling under the surface. You can see Jenkinson not prepared to let Balupale use his pace, just checking his run, using his body to get in between illegally, in the opinion of our referee, Jonathan Barrero. So that has really put Jenkinson on notice now with that battle looming for the rest of this game. Nearly yellow card.
The victory taken short. Balupale looks to hit the byline, but watched well by Jason Hoffman. So the Jets recover strongly. Jenkinson it was, rather, so giving away the free kick and copping a yellow card. Nice response from the Jets fullback. 5 seasons at Arsenal, Carl Jenkinson, an FA Cup winner with them. On a Premier's plate with Melbourne City. Real calm head in that dressing room. Doesn't seek the limelight, but always good for a chat, and he'll be quick to tell you how much he loves it here in Australia. Here's Fornaroli. Balupale. Defensive recovery is strong from the Jets. Can they hit the victory on the counter? They find the feet of Bayliss. Demitlopoulos may be offside. The flag stays down for now. He's got options across the face. Gary is there. Miranda will head it over for a corner. And now the offside flag comes. So the Bronx cheers arrive from the Victory faithful. It is one of the more frustrating parts of football at the moment. We know why it exists, that decision making from the officials, but in situations like that it can be painstaking.
Oh, honestly, I spend too much time talking about that rule.
That is a tight call though.
It is tight, there's no doubt about it, but if the assistant referee has got it in their mind they're offside, I can understand waiting for the first touch, but any longer than that, just the risk of injury, and it's not the assistant referee's fault, it's a law of the game.
Yeah. That was a tight one though, and if Demitlopoulos had broken through and they'd scored, we'd say, well, that's why you have to do it. If he was onside, but in the end, it mattered little. Here's Arzani. Traore. Fornaroli offers short once more. Links up play well, Bruno Fornaroli, doesn't he? Still doing it at 36 years of age. Had the ball at his feet a number of times already in this first half.
Oh, he's a street fighter with real quality. He knows how to win his little one-on-one duels. Knows how to keep the ball in tight areas. His awareness to bring midfield into the game. And of course, his ability to put the ball in the back of the net makes him a very, very good foreign player for the A-League.
Speaking of foreigners, Tom, the Frenchman, the foul on his countryman in Machach. It's been pretty quiet so far in this opening half an hour, isn't it, in Machach by the Jets? Here's Traore. Looks for Fornaroli, he's got the touch, and he's got a second. Bruno Fornaroli cannot stop scoring. From 1-0 down to 2-1 up in this first half of the victory. And Bruno is at it at 36 years of age with a double.
Well, we were just talking about the poacher's instincts of Bruno Fornaroli, and they were on show there. As we see on the Harvey Norman replay, Adama Traore driving forward, and they're just lifting it into an area. And it's indecision from Mark Natta and Jason Hoffman that allows the opportunity for that man there, Fornaroli, to open up. And he doesn't need, again, a second invitation. It's a wonderful poacher's finish. The instincts to expect the ball to arrive to him in those areas is just second to none.
His 91st goal in the A-League, 102 in all competitions. Bruno Fornaroli enjoying a renaissance in his A-League's career. Wonderful ball from Traore though, just got the other side of Jason Hoffman. And the finish was timed to perfection.
Well, it was too far out for Ryan Scott to come and gather. It really had to be dealt with by Natta or Hoffman. Neither of them did it. Bruno Fornaroli, the one thing you want to do when you're on a special and there's a special on you on TV is back it up in the next game with a performance, and he's got 2 goals to his name in the opening half an hour.
They'll be lining up for A-League's All Access after this, won't they, around the competition?
And funnily enough, last season it was almost the poison chalice. Everyone who had a feature on them ended up with an injury. So this might be a changing of the guard.
Fantastic to see Bruno Fornaroli in this sort of form. One of the most likeable foreigners Australian football has ever seen. Moved around a bit in the last few years. Got that Socceroos cap, coupled to his name. Some had doubted him. Plenty at the Victory thought perhaps they should be looking elsewhere for a player to lead the line. He has started the season superbly. 3 goals in 2 games. And there's still an hour left in this one.
Yeah, remarkable when someone is so passionate about their football and got the qualities that he possesses. There was some raised eyebrows when Tony Popovich brought him across from Perth Glory, particularly given his history with Melbourne City. He's delivered for the fans early in this season.
Lovely back heel from Machach, and there goes Jason Guerrier looking for Fornaroli. Sliding across was Natta. The Victory assuming control of this first half. Taylor comes across and manages to block that pass from Machach to Guerrier. Here's Arzani. Cuts inside, dances around a few. 360 in the end from Arzani. Jets win it back. And the free kick against Ray Marchand will offer them some relief. Jenkinson, Hoffman rather, wants someone to come short, goes to Jenkinson. His right fullback. Here's O'Neill. Into Taylor, did well to let that run onto his left foot and then win the free kick. Just got his body in between Daniel Arzani and the ball, didn't he? And the Jets can have a look at goal here.
Yeah, really good awareness there from Clayton Taylor. As you said, just got his body in the right position there. He's aware of where the space is. He draws the foul from Arzani in a really good area for the Jets. Shooting range, no doubt.
Costa Grozos standing over this. He'll fancy himself after his pile driver against the Glory last week. Wasn't from a set piece, of course, but from a similar distance. It is Grozos. He'll strike it. Lovely save his own. Watched it all the way. Acrobatically tipping it over the crossbar. That was a fine effort from Costa Grozos.
Absolutely, and Daniel Arzani going over to acknowledge that save from Izzo. Great technique from Grozos. You can see that's just sneaking under the crossbar, so Izzo had to deal with it. Did so brilliantly.
Grozos with the corner. Traore with the header away. Those set pieces are troubling the Victory at the moment. Grozos again. The back of Guerrier. This is another strong response from the Jets after going behind.
Yeah, they dealt with it in the end, Victory, didn't they? But the trajectory of that ball, if there was a willing runner from Newcastle, you dare say they would have got on the end of it.
The feet of Taylor.
There's the technique from Grozos, just looking like it was going to dip under that crossbar had Izzo not been there to do his job.
It's Batomye, the Frenchman. Moragas with a marauding run. Marchand looking to clear. Azani back doing some defensive work. O'Neill recovers it. The through ball for Jenkinson. Asks a lot of him. Put Traore under pressure. He scampered across and cleared it for the throw-in. Hoffman. To Natta, who opened the scoring in this pulsating first half at Amy Park. Bruno Fornaroli with both of the Victory's goals to put them in front after they went 1-0 down inside 6 minutes. Here's Bayliss enjoying his first A-League start. The switch is on to Moragas. Looks to get inside Azani, does so again. Taylor with the shot in his non-preferred right, and perhaps that told the story when it came to the finish.
Yeah, very difficult to execute that. Taylor letting it run across his body onto his non-preferred foot, leaning back. But Moragas, gee, he's shown some quick feet, hasn't he? Getting into those tight situations, injecting himself into the play. The Newcastle Jets left fullback at just the right times, and every time he's touched the ball, he's made something happen.
Well, opposition coaches will be telling their fullbacks to get at Daniel Azani. Ask questions of him the other way, because that is the knock on him. It's great to see that battle ensue. Here's Machach. The Victory deep in attack yet again. The Frenchman cutting on his left, then back on his right. Azani keeps the ball alive. Back they go to Guerrier. Into the feet of Machach. Azani and Machach, beautiful combination play. Knocks it around Moragas, who wins the free kick, Daniel Azani. That gets the fans off their seat at Amy Park.
Do you reckon Azani and Machach are going to enjoy playing with each other this season? What about the party tricks coming out? Some brilliant interchanges between the two in such tight areas. And then Azani, not afraid to use those tight areas to get at defenders. Wonderful passage of play.
I mean, the two best players on the school ground only pass to each other, or in the five-a-side team. Sure, Daniel Azani was in that situation plenty when he was growing up. He's doing it at Amy Park at the moment. Late stages of the first half. The Victory 2-1 up. Azani over a set piece yet again. And Fornaroli score a first half hat-trick. Into the feet he goes of Valupale. Penalty! A chance for Fornaroli, in fact, to net a hat-trick in the first half. Now, this will be reviewed, but Jonathan Barrero has called a handball and awarded a penalty to the Victory.
Well, 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 what drama. Remarkable. You could see Azani just waiting, delaying for those runs, and then it's Jenkinson.
It's Jenkinson who's hit the ground, and the ball has hit his arm. So it's very harsh, but I don't see how VAR overrules that.
Well, it's not.
It's been confirmed.
You wouldn't call it a clear and obvious error, but gee, you've got to feel for Jenkinson, who lost his footing as he goes to ground, outstretches his arms, had no idea where the ball was. The penalty it is.
It's Fornaroli up against Ryan Scott for the chance of a first half hat-trick. Bruno delivers. It's Fornaroli. with 3 in the first half. And the Victory fans are in delight at the exploits of their Uruguayan.
Well, what an incredible 40 minutes of football we've seen here at Amy Park. Bruno Fornaroli with his hat-trick. Look at that on the Harvey Norman replay. So assured, so confident. Yes, indeed, that is a hat-trick, Bruno Fornaroli, and you are worth the price of admission. Wonderful finish. Look at that smile on his face.
We've seen that smile for many a years. Yes, Bruno, it is 3. We've only gone 40 minutes. What a start to his campaign. You could see the confidence oozing through him as he stood over that ball. It's a harsh penalty to give away. There's no way VAR can overturn it. The handball was there. I'm not sure Carl Jenkinson knew too much about it.
No, well, let's be honest, he knew nothing about it. But Jonathan Barrero refereeing to the laws of the game. And you're right, VAR couldn't overturn it because it wasn't a clear and obvious error. But gee whiz, Bruno Fornaroli. And it all comes back to his first goal and his reaction to scoring that first goal. He sprinted back to halfway as if to say to his team, come on, time to wake up. And boy, haven't they responded.
What an asset he's been to Australian football, Bruno Fornaroli. Brought into arguably the biggest club in the country to lead the line when many thought his best days were behind him. 4 goals already in this season and a hat-trick in the first half.
Yeah, brilliant. You put him in the conversation with the Barishas, the Broishas, the Ninkovic's.
Have to be amongst it. It's Batomia. Can the Jets respond before half-time? Izzo off his line. Bit of confidence about him after that excellent save earlier from Costa Grozos. Claims that well. It's Ryan Teague. A raking ball out to Azani in space. And the Victory add another before the break. Azani taken down by Batomia, who just about had enough of the Victory winger. Jinking around the Jets' defence.
Look, I think anyone in a white shirt's had enough of Arzani already. Well, I've got news for you. You've still got another half of football to deal with him. It's the way he glides past players when he's in the mood. Another set piece in a good area with his type of delivery. Maybe just a touch too far out the shoot.
Well, it's an aspect of his first half that stood out as well, is his delivery from set pieces, Daniel Arzani. Perhaps not exactly a part of his game that gets spoken about a lot. But he's had some precision and some fizz on the football from these situations so far.
And it looks like he's going to strike this at goal. It's a very straight run-up.
The Ronaldo run-up for Daniel Arzani. Strikes the football in much the same manner as the Portuguese legend. Over the crossbar it goes, though. What a statement he's made in the first half.
Remarkable. Now it's about consistency, isn't it, over the course of a season. He set his bar over the first couple of rounds.
Brilliant first half of football it's been here at Amy Park. And there's too much doubt of the offside flag being raised for that run by Costa Grozos. Half-time nearing. The Victory carrying on from that fantastic 2-0 win away to Sydney FC last week. Enjoying a healthy 2-goal buffer. After being 1-0 down early, don't forget. Courtesy of a Mark Natter goal. Bruno Fornaroli has responded 3 times over. And this man has been a delight to watch in Daniel Arzani. Tries to flick it through for Velupale. Fornaroli just coming short, allowing the likes of Velupale to run beyond him.
Yeah, it's good to see, isn't it? When you've got players coming short and getting in behind, it's very hard to defend. You've got to make sure your back line is in sync. tracking runners.
Teague and Matsan, the new central midfield partnership for the Melbourne Victory. We'll see 4 minutes of added time in this first half. The 4 goals have had a lot to do with that, of course. Traore's been lively down the left. Azani switching flanks. Roaming wherever he likes. Gary is advanced. Cross looking for Fornaroli. Hoffman gets across this time. Moragas is under pressure. Gary's touch is over in front of Tony Popovic. He'll be delighted with the start to the season, Tony Popovic, won't he? I mean, a long way to go still in this football game, but there seems to be a buzz about the Melbourne Victory, and there had to be early in the campaign after what transpired last season.
Yeah, that's right, Garby, but it was very, very quiet from Melbourne Victory during the off-season and the pre-season, which was a clear strategy, I think, from Tony Popovic to say, we're going to do our talking on the pitch. And haven't they started it well?
Stamatolopoulos wins the free kick. Miranda infringing. Got a lot of the ball, Roderick Miranda, but a bit of Stamatolopoulos' leg as well. Might be a little bit too far out for Grozos to eye off the goals. So Batomye will look for an option in attack. At the back post is Jenkinson. It'll be a goal kick. The Englishman wants a corner. But once more, if there is a weakness about the Victory in this first half, it's from set pieces. The Jets have asked plenty of questions from those situations.
That's right. That's really good delivery from Batomye. A good area at that back post. And Jenkinson arrived and tried to do the right thing and just lift it back to the far post area. He was convinced he should have had a corner out of it. Batomye with such a sweet left foot. We saw it last week. We're seeing it again today. Victory just yet to really deal with set pieces.
Here's Taylor. Chance for the Jets laid on. His ball headed away by De Silva. Balupale cuts inside. His pass well blocked by Batomye. Machac though wins it back. And now Traore has space. Can the Victory add another before the half-time break? Bruno Fornaroli with the Rabona. A half of his wildest dreams. Bruno has 4. And we haven't gone yet to the half-time whistle.
Wow. Just wow. That is incredible improvisation from that man there, Bruno Fornaroli, to be able to sort his feet out, stop and prop. On the Harvey Norman replay, it's Traore again marauding down that left-hand side for Victory. Just puts it into a good area. And look at that from Fornaroli, to be able to stop his run, prop, and then the presence of mind to pull out the Rabona. Unbelievable. Slight deflection off Mark Natta, but that will matter nothing to Fornaroli and the Melbourne Victory players and staff.
104 goals in all competitions in Australia. That is right up there with the very best of them from Bruno Fornaroli. What a stunning 45 minutes of football. One of the best we've ever seen in the A-League from an individual.
Absolutely incredible. And the frame of mind he's in, you wouldn't bet against him getting a few more to his name this afternoon.
It is Bruno's half at Amy Park. The Uruguayan, 36 years of age, with 4 goals to his name. They rise as one and applaud one of the legends of the A-Leagues. It's Bruno 4. It's the Victory 4. 4-1 over the Newcastle Jets, and that is a half to remember from Amy Park.
Well, it won't be the half-time highlight show. It'll be Bruno Fornaroli.
Second half action's not too far away. If the first half was anything to go by, you'll want to stay tuned. That has been something to remember. And there's plenty more to come from Bruno Fornaroli and the Melbourne victory. A remarkable first half of football at Amy Park. And this was the moment, unfortunate for Carl Jenkinson, that Bruno Fornaroli notched his hat-trick. Believe it or not, he would add one more. 4.5 for Bruno. That sparks up our Hungry Jacks halftime show. The victory 4-1 up over the Newcastle Jets. It has been something quite remarkable in Melbourne. Bruno Fornaroli, 36 years of age, still delivering massive headlines in the A-League, Phil Moss.
Remarkable first half, one of the best we've seen. And of course, he sparked the revival when Newcastle went ahead 1-0, scored the equaliser and then got his team back to halfway as quickly as he could and said, come on, time to go through the gears. And boy, oh boy, did they deliver.
Plenty of highlights in the first half. Let's check out the Harvey Norman highlights. Started with the Newcastle Jets scoring, can you believe it? Feels like ages ago that this happened for Mark Natter.
That's right, great delivery to the back post by Moragas, and it was Carl Jenkinson who got something on it to put it back into an area for Natter to tap it home. That was 1-0, but then victory from a set piece themselves, thank you very much. And it was Arzani who whipped it into a good area for Fornaroli. Just gets to the byline and whips it into that area for Fornaroli to really put it away with some precision. And this is where he turns and sprints back to the halfway. He said to his players, come on, time to wake up.
Well, he looked like a man possessed, and that's how the rest of the first half transpired for him. This was a delightful ball, and his run was just full of all the experience that he possesses.
That's right, but Jason Hoffman has to deal with that at the near post. That's indecision. He has to deal with that for his keeper, and he didn't. And this is a handball, and you can see Jenkinson goes to ground, outstretched arms to break his fall. Has no idea where the ball is, but it does strike his arm. Jonathan Barrero, our referee, had no choice but to point to the spot. And Fornaroli puts it away with some aplomb.
And then he saved the best until last. One of the great goals that Bruno Fornaroli has scored in the A-League, and there have been plenty of them. Again, it's Traore down the left, and this was something very special.
Oh, that is just flair. That's brilliance, individual brilliance, if you like. But how he stopped and propped and then had the presence of mind to pull out a party trick like that is just remarkable. And then execute is remarkable. Slight deflection off the foot of Natta, but he won't care a zap.
All the South American style that Bruno Fornaroli possesses on show there. The victory have asked plenty of questions, of course, of the Newcastle Jets. The Jets have had attempts on goal as well. So even though the scoreline doesn't quite represent it, the Jets have had some questions asked of the victory defence at times too.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes with this scoreline, it's as much about as good as the team ahead is and as bad as the team behind is. But really, you wouldn't say that about Newcastle in his first half. But for that man, Bruno Fornaroli, they certainly wouldn't be staring down a scoreline like that at half-time. And they haven't gone away, Newcastle, and you dare say Robbie Stanton will have them fired up to come out well in the second half as well.
Bruno Fornaroli is hot, just cooling off a touch. Can't wait to see what he can produce in the second half. 4 goals to his name to half-time. Let's get down to the sideline with Michael Zappone, who has a special guest.
Yeah, thanks, Garby. Geordie Belladon's with me, one of the youngsters who's injured at the moment, hamstring injury. How long are you out for, Geordie?
It's been 12 weeks now, so just keep moving and take it week by week, so hopefully be back soon.
You must have enjoyed that first half. I've been watching Victory for 19 seasons now, almost as old as you are. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. How did you enjoy that?
Oh, I thought shaky start, obviously unfortunate to cop the goal, but excellent response. I think it's exactly what we wanted to see, and 4 goals for Bruno. I think he'll be loving it, and the fans are loving it too. So
you were here last season, of course. Was it a tough season for Melbourne Victory? What's changed in the off-season? From what we've seen so far, it's a very different looking side.
I think a lot of work in pre-season, focusing on obviously improving off of last season, which wasn't our best, but we're looking this year to come back better than last year, and I think that's shown this first half, the way we've built up and created chances.
And what about that Rabona from Bruno Fornaroli? Does he pull that trick at training from time to time?
Yeah, he's got a bit of flair to him, so I think lovely Rabona. He's bringing out the tricks.
He's been fantastic. We look forward to seeing you back on the park. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Hopper.
Yeah, it is pumping here, Garby, at half-time. The Melbourne Victory fans are up and about for sure.
They've got good reason to be, of course. And Bruno Fornaroli's notched 4 goals, so no surprise that he leads the way in the Paramount Plus player indexed. Almost a perfect 100 for Bruno Mossi.
And well deserved too. They are 4 goals of pure class and precision. He's a street fighter, but he's got the street smarts as well. That is a quite brilliant individual half of football.
Daniel Arzani sitting second. He's been fantastic. But, I mean, all the confidence had been garnered with the 3 goals previous. That just becomes instinctive, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And you can see that, you know, we talked about his poacher's instincts, but that last goal there is absolutely brilliant. He's got the poacher's instinct to be there at the right time in the right place, but the instincts to pull out a party trick like that, it's hard to coach.
Can he add to it in the second half? That will have those Victory fans watching on with interest, and all football fans around the country. It's been an epic first half at Amy Park. Bruno with 4, plenty more to come in the second half, and there is plenty more sport to come on Network 10, of course. Don't forget, after the Hungry Jacks halftime show, the second half is coming towards you, but the Melbourne Cup, of course, is coming your way as well in a couple of weeks.
Take your place alongside the crowds.
The excitement builds.
The spectacle.
Everyone is watching.
And the history.
They're racing in the Melbourne Cup.
Australia.
100 to go in a contest for the ages. celebrations.
Become part of the greatest race on earth.
What a win in a cup we'll never forget. They're on top of the world.
The Melbourne Cup Carnival, live on 10 and 10 Play.
Okay, we're going to get into creative. Anniversary Paramount Plus and the A-Leagues. Of course, you can watch all of the A-Leagues games on Paramount Plus. And we are going to give away a 12-month free subscription to Paramount Plus right now. So this is a clapper. Now, you should have one of these. Many of you have a clapper in the crowd. So I want you to put it together, and we're going to do this, and we're going to give away 12 months free Paramount Plus. So here we go. We'll move around the stadium, and we'll see who can do it. So we can go up now. Who's got a little clapper up there? We've got some kids. Here we go. And they're everywhere. So we're going to find the most enthusiastic clapper. Look at you, sir. You're on. I'll pass it up. So we're going to talk about the winner. Who is our winner?
One of the great first halves of football from Amy Park in the A-Leagues, lit up by Bruno Fornaroli and his 4 goals, the last of them, the best of the lot, and one of the finest that he has produced, an early contender for goal of the season. Daniel Garb here with you, delighted to have your company wherever you may be watching around the nation, alongside Phil Moss, and we have been well and truly entertained by the 36-year-old Uruguayan.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a quite brilliant individual performance from Fornaroli in that first half. As you said, a contender for goal of the year. We see Newcastle making a change.
A couple of changes, in fact. So Philip Ganchar is on for Jason Hoffman. So Jets veteran leads the club with appearances. Taken off at half-time. Philip Ganchar asked to tighten up the Jets' defence, and Trent Bahadur is on as well. Started last week, of course. Looks like the sprinklers have halted proceedings early on in the second half. Should have kicked off by now, but Philip Ganchar is getting a spray. Let's go down to Michael Zappone in the meantime.
Well, Arthur, that must have been a pretty easy team talk at half-time.
Not really. We want to be better with the ball, to be honest. So, although we've got into good scoring situations, we want to be better and more fluent with the ball and keep going. We can't stop, and we've got to keep going. The reaction was great, going down early, and the reaction was outstanding.
Is that one of the keys now to make sure you keep up that pressure in the second half? And were there lots of pats on the back at half-time for Bruno?
Yeah, it is. We've got to keep going. Now it's about mentality that we've got to show and keep going for the killer instinct. We can't stop. We're at home in front of our fans, and if we're better with the ball, we want a better second half performance, and whatever happens in terms of goals, we don't want to concede.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Victory, striving for more. The Jets have made a string of changes, 3 of them in fact. Dane Ingham is on, as is Trent Bahaja and Philip Canchar. So 3 changes made by Robbie Stanton amid this 4-1 deficit at half-time.
Well, that's a strong reaction from Robbie Stanton, as you'd expect at half-time, but 3 substitutions is a statement, there's no doubt about that. I'm sure, as we saw with Kankar getting sprayed by the sprinter, he wasn't the only white shirt that copped the spray at half-time. It was below par for Newcastle, but that's to take nothing away from victory. The predatory instincts of Bruno Fornaroli.
Change for the victory as well. Stephen Negro's on. Jason Guerrier has made way. Chance for the Jets to ask a question from a set piece early in the second half. Cleared away by Fornaroli. O'Neill's header back into a dangerous area. Offside the call. Jonathan Barrero. A big decision to make in that first half. The handball against Carl Jenkinson allowed Bruno Fornaroli to notch his hat-trick. So Patomier, the Frenchman, is off for Dane Ingham. Interesting change. Jason Hoffman, as we mentioned, substituted for Philip Canchar, the heart of the defence. Trent Bahaja also on for the Newcastle Jets, looking to liven up their attack. Here is Ingham. Natta. Here's Bayless. And now Taylor. Chance to strike on goal. Well blocked by De Silva. Carl Jenkinson, the 3rd substitution for the Jets. A big change in shape. And Robbie Stanton at the break. Here's Ingham. Taylor with the flick on to Moragas. Better start to this second half from Newcastle. De Silva with the acrobatic clearance.
Okay.
It's Machach for Azani. Well done by Grozos to win it back in midfield. Stamatolopoulos didn't have much of the football in the first half. The cross from Ingham is deep to Taylor, and that's the response from Newcastle. And it's young Clayton Taylor with a moment to remember. His first ever A-Leagues goal. He made his debut last week, and along with Mark Natta, has registered in the A-Leagues for the first time in his young career.
Well, it's a perfect response from Rob Stanton's team. Deep delivery on the Harvey Norman replay from Dane Ingham. And Clayton Taylor was in the right place at the right time. I'm not sure he 100% believed that the ball would land on his foot, but it was great technique at the back post nonetheless. And that is a fantastic response from 3 substitutions that Rob Stanton made at half-time. just to give Newcastle a sniff.
What a moment for Clayton Taylor. Made his debut last week and registers his first A-Leagues goal in round 2 of the competition. And all of a sudden the Jets have a foothold back in this football match. The 3 changes made by Robbie Stanton at the break worked out all right in the early stages of the second half.
Well, it's also a tactical change. He's gone with Bahaja.
The cross from Negro. Fornaroli for 5! Hits the post. Falls to Valupale. The Jets still under pressure. Now they do the clearing. Bruno Fornaroli with 4 goals and 1 that has hit the middle of the woodwork.
Well, you wouldn't back against him adding a couple more, there's no doubt, and that was, for a player of Bruno Fornaroli's class and quality, it was a relatively easy chance for him. Of course, the woodwork prevented him getting his 5th. But yeah, just going back to Robbie Stanton, not only 3 substitutions, but a tactical tweak as well, 2 up front. Stamatolopoulos and Trent Bahaja.
Azani releases Negro. That's with the clearance. Taylor on the score sheet, loses possession. Azani starting to work hard defensively. Matsan. Move it wide to Valupale. Teague recovers it. The Victory calling for a free kick there. Wasn't paid. So Stefan Negro, the substitute, with a delightful ball and a look for all money, as if Bruno would have 5.
Well, he did really well, didn't he? Fornaroli all but directed his header inside that far post. Near post as it was from where the delivery was from Negro. Really good technique, good use of his body. I've just seen Fornaroli put them in the back of the net so often.
Azani. Dangerous ball looking for Machach. Taylor's header is back into a dangerous area. Machach and Ingham dueling for it. Machach wins back front position. And Azani and Machach combine. Close to the byline again. Move it back to Teague. Been tidy in possession, Ryan Teague. Interesting acquisition by the Victory, but looks a calm head in midfield. Here's Traore. Teague looking forward. Machach back to Traore. Fornaroli with another darting run. No free kick for Ingham. Victory maintaining possession in a dangerous area. Let's get down to Michael Zappone.
4 in the first half. He'll be tracking Archie Thompson's record of 5 goals in a single game for Melbourne Victory. And of course, Jamie McLaren scored 5 for Melbourne City against Melbourne Victory a couple of years ago as well. And if we go back to the NSL days, 6 is the record for goals in a game. Pat Brodnick for Wollongong against West Adelaide, and Ivan Kelic for the Melbourne Knights against the Wollongong Macedonia side in 1991. That's well within his reach, Agabi.
The way he looks at the moment, most certainly. Thanks, Zappa. Here's Bahaja. Finding Lockie Bayliss in his starting debut. His cross asks the question of Paul Izzo, who had to palm that over his crossbar.
Yeah, I'm not sure Lockie Bayliss was going for goal there. Certainly it caused just a brief moment of concern for that man there, Paul Izzo. You could see he just didn't quite get his toe round the delivery to give it enough bend into the area for runners to attack it. The corner nonetheless, good outcome.
Well, every time you think the Victory are running away with this football match and it's a fait accompli, the Jets managed to just get back into it a touch. Here's Grozos with the corner, just over the head of Mark Natter. He scored the first goal. This thrilling football match, but now they've turned it over. Valupale is through. He'll be one-on-one with Ryan Scott. Can he make it 5 for the Victory? Valupale does so! Swift on the break. The Victory restore their 3-goal
goodness, we are headed for a cricket score here today at Amy Park. Valupale, with over half a pitch to run, never looked like missing. He knew he had the defender Moragas for pace. He just had to keep his nerve, and he had plenty of time to think about it on the Harvey Norman replay. The ball was given away. Valupale has nothing but green grass and a goalkeeper in front of him to beat. And that is a really assured finish from Valupale. Look at that. He gets quicker on the ball, which is not easy to do. And then he just picks his spot and puts it past Ryan Scott. Fantastic action. And he has been very, very good value for that goal, Nishan Valupale.
Wonderful pace, a calm finish. 6 career goals for the young Victory winger. And to get that break on Moragas shows just how rapid he can be. And the finish was there to boot. And we do have another goal scorer in Victory colours after Bruno's 4.
Tell you a penny for Rob Stanton's thoughts. He'd be absolutely devastated. 3 substitutions at half-time. Newcastle Jets are the first scorers of the second half, just to get back in the game or give themselves a sniff, and to give away a goal like that. Simple giveaway of possession with still half a field.
And things open up for the Victory again. Bruno buzzing about. Valupale, fresh off his goal. To the feet of Machach. Azani. Back to Machach. Find some space at the edge of the area. Jets win it back though through Bayliss. And Bahaja can move as well. Asks the question of Miranda. The Victory skipper. Works it back to his goalkeeper and Paul Izzo. The Victory might just take the sting out of this game for a moment. After restoring their 3-goal margin. And that's a little naughty from Trent Bahaja on Ryan Teague, and his name goes into the book as a result.
Well, that's something they're going to have to really be disciplined about in this second half. Newcastle is their discipline, keeping their heads, not letting frustration take over. Because they've shown they can score. All they need to get is one more back, and there's still plenty of football left in this game.
The Victory in full flight. The North Terrace pumping. Is one of the great sights in the A-League. Maybe not for the opposition. Certainly for those in navy and white. Some of the neutrals. It's a heavy contest between Grozos and Teague. Lovely ball with the outside of his boot from Teague to release Valupale. Cut inside as Marzan in space, clips it over the top. A little bit too much on it for Daniel Arzani, who appreciated the thought.
Yeah, they just weren't quite on the same wavelength there. Well, they may have been on the same wavelength mentally, not physically. Arzani just didn't make that forward run. You just sense we are in for a hell of a last half an hour, Garby. You don't sense the intensity of this game is going to go anywhere but where it's been for the opening 60 minutes.
It's been unbelievable entertainment for those who have made their way out to Amy Park. For those watching on Paramount Plus around the nation. Fantastic football game full of a massive headline. Fornaroli's 4 writes itself. There could be more to come.
So 4.5. Hit the post obviously with that header early in the second half. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You just sense that unless he gets an early shower, there could be another goal or two to Fornaroli's name.
They're bouncing behind the goals for good reason. An hour gone. Victory have 5. Here is the judge. We've still got the likes of Chris Economides and Jake Brimmer on the bench, if you don't mind. The judge keeps going. Coming across Kanchar to see it out for a victory corner.
One thing that impressed me too at half-time, Zappa's, his interview with Arthur Dillers, said, well, that was probably an easy half-time, and he said, no, it wasn't. We weren't happy with our quality on the ball. We've asked for a lift in the second half. Shows high standards.
Well done by Taylor to win it back off Arzani. Stood up strong in the challenge. He's managed to get his name on the score sheet in the second half for the first time in his career in the A-Leagues. And there's Miranda, the victory captain, leading from the front to win it back with some acrobatics. Stamatolopoulos lays it back to Taylor. Quick one over the top of Bahaja, who has space. Izzo has to come out and meet it and gets there first. Read it well, the victory keeper.
And he knew the pace of Bahaja. I think they spent time together at the Mariners. He had to be on his game there, Izzo. Dealt with it very well.
It was a dicey one. You just felt as if Bahaja had the lead in that race for a moment. Well done, Paul Izzo. Here's Brandon O'Neill. His first start of the season. To Lockie Bayliss, the first start of his career. One trickles into the arms of Paul Izzo. He spent 2 seasons with Tony Popovic in Greece at Xanthi. A 3-time Australia Cup winner with Adelaide United. Experienced A-League's custodian, who, as we saw in the first half, can still make some spectacular saves.
Yeah, he's a fantastic goalkeeper. There's no doubt as to why Tony Popovic has such belief in him. He's also good with his feet, which is important in the modern game.
Spent some time at the Mariners as well, of course. Here's Valupale, who scored the victory's 5th. In stunning fashion on the break. Has Traore on the overlap into the front post. Fornaroli was lurking once more.
Well, it was going to be no one else, was it? But Fornaroli making that near post run. So close to getting a toe on it. But again, great work down this left-hand side by Traore. He really has been central to a lot of good things that Melbourne Victory have done this afternoon. Injected himself at just the right times. His quality delivery into the box. He's been into good areas. They've been measured passes. The sort of service that Bruno Fornaroli just licks his chops at.
Well, Archie Thompson has the victory record, as Michael Zappone told us. Who can forget when that occurred? And this might be an interesting call for Jonathan Barrero. It might be a red card, in fact, for Mark Natter if it's not offside, and it is offside. Well, I think Jonathan Barrero was reaching to his pocket at one stage, and perhaps the assistant referee has changed his decision.
Well, it's just befitting with the drama that we've had here so far, Garby. But I've got no doubt, if that's not offside, Barrero was heading for the red card.
It looks like the right call from that angle. We want to see more of it. Mark Natter had his hands in the air, but there was a collision there, and Arzani looked through.
Gee, I'm not sure. Dane Ingham looked like at right back. He may have just been keeping Arzani on side. This is going to be very, very tight.
Well, if that is not offside, it may well be a red card for Mark Natter. Chris Economides readying himself. 17 times Socceroo. Still having a look at that, and it's a nervous wait for Mark Natter.
Well, first of all, is it offside? You just see Dane Ingham just dropping there at right back. So the first question, is it offside? Second question, is Arzani headed to goal? Is Natter the last defender? Big moment in this game. As if we haven't had enough big moments, Garby.
Plenty of drama at Amy Park on a stunning Sunday afternoon. The victory in full flight. And this is concerning for Robbie Stanton. for Mark Natter. Look at the cavalry ready to come on for the victory. As they check the offside yet again, it's a tight one, as you can see. Perhaps Arzani's shoulder is straying offside.
Well, that angle there suggests that Arzani is offside. But from the other angle I saw, I just think Dane Ingham was dropping with Arzani's run. And there's the decision.
Well, it is offside. Robbie Stanton furious, but a part of him might well be relieved. Not quite sure that will be the case when he sees the victory substitutes in a moment. Falami, Economides, Brimmer, all set to come on. Shows you the strength of this Melbourne victory outfit. Here's Moragas. Watched well by Stefan Negro. He's made an impact, hasn't he, since coming off the bench?
Yeah, he certainly has. Some good substitutions by both coaches at half-time, and there it is.
It's the shoulder of Arzani. That's straight offside. So here come the changes from Tony Popovic. Chris Economides on for Daniel Arzani. Star-studded substitution. We've spoken so much about Daniel Arzani, haven't we, Phil Moss, as we wait to see Ben Falami and Jake Brimmer come on. But Chris Economides, this time 4 years ago, was lighting things up for the Socceroos at the Asian Cup. This is a big campaign for him to try and get his career back on track.
Yeah, that's right. It certainly is. He's a quality player when he's on his game, Economides. Of course, Tony Popovic had him at Perth Glory as well. Brought him across to Melbourne victory. And there is this thing called Asian Cup coming up in January next year. I'm sure the likes of Economides, Arzani, will be using it as an extra motivator.
So both wingers off for the victory. Valupale and Arzani for Economides and Falami. And then Jake Brimmer on for Ryan Teague in central midfield. 4 changes made by Tony Popovic. 67 minutes gone. And a fantastic football match at Amy Park. Here is Brimmer. Johnny Warren medalist of a couple seasons ago. And Negro finds some space, looking for Fornaroli. He's hit the post again. 4 goals to his name, and he's hit that left-hand upright twice. Or did Ryan Scott get a piece of it?
Well, looks like there's an offside anyway, so it may not have counted. I don't know if it was trying to work out who was offside in that play, but the assistant referee's flag definitely went up.
It's another good run from Stefan Negro. He was added plenty to the victory since coming on at half-time. That might be a big decision to make for Tony Popovic next week. Jason Guerrier and Stefan Negro, unless Guerrier has an injury which led to his substitution. Right now, though, it's all about Bruno Fornaroli, whether he can add a 5th goal to his name. An outstanding contribution from him. Here's Stamatolopoulos, persisting against Traore and finding Bahagia in a little bit of space. Stays alive, Stamatolopoulos. Taylor has 2. No, he doesn't. Denied by the assistant referee. The drama continues at Amy Park. Clayton Taylor, with his first ever A-League goal a moment ago, thought for a second as if he had a double.
Well, Stamatolopoulos, first of all, really gets at this Melbourne victory defence. For me, Bahagia has to finish that, first of all, and then Stamatolopoulos is offside at the second attempt. Good finish, good delivery to the back post, good finish from Taylor. But for me, Bahagia has to finish that first chance. He gets no connection on the ball.
I wonder if they're just checking if this came off a victory defender. And if so, it's not offside.
If that's the case, Stamatolopoulos is played onside.
That might be the source of the protests for the Newcastle Jets at the moment. That has come off a Victory defender. Stamatolopoulos is onside. Well, that is off De Silva.
This will be overturned.
Negro, in fact. It should be overturned. It should be a double for Clayton Taylor.
This has to be overturned. That's been played at clearly by a Melbourne Victory defender to the feet of Stamatolopoulos, who dinks it to the back post, and Clayton Taylor nods at home.
Well, this is what VAR is for, to overturn the howler. Hard to blame Jonathan Barrero in this instance. It's a hard one to spot to the naked eye. That's why we have the technology. That has clearly come off Stefan Negro.
Here's another replay, and you can see that is clearly off Stefan Negro's right foot, the outside of his right foot. There's no touch there from Bahaja at the second attempt. Stamatolopoulos lifts it to the back post for Clayton Taylor. This should be overturned, Garby.
Well, Clayton Taylor, watching on, thinks I'm a chance for 2 A-League goals here in just my second game. And it should be awarded in a moment. And the Jets should have a foothold in this football match once more.
Well, I'm not sure what the delay is, to be honest. It's very, very clear on those replays. Stefan Negro has played Stamatolopoulos onside, and he and Clayton Taylor have done the rest.
It's Lara Lee in the VAR chair, and we should have a decision by now. This seems clear. We agree with you, Robbie. We think a goal should be awarded as well.
Well, this is where...
Well, they've given offside here. Now, I can't understand that.
I'm speechless. I don't know how you explain that. I'd be interested to get an explanation from our VAR officials. Unless the law of the game has changed, if it comes off a defender, if a defender plays at the ball and it lands at the feet of an attacking player, that is deemed to be played onside.
Well, that's bemusing. And Robbie Stanton and the Newcastle Jets may indeed have some questions to ask about that. 5-2, it stays. Here's Machach. The back heel is recovered by O'Neill. Machach wins it back. Into the feet of Jake Brimmer. Loves these situations. Jake Brimmer palmed away by Scott, and at the double, he makes an excellent save once more. Ryan Scott, quick to respond and deny Ben Falami.
Well, that's a fantastic double save by Ryan Scott. First of all, some good work from Falami. Jake Brimmer, you know what he's got in mind. And that's a great save there. And then look at that, how quickly he gets back to his feet to effect the second save. Brilliant, Ryan Scott.
The former bricklayer came through at the Bentley Greens in Melbourne, no doubt playing in front of some family and friends. Conceded 5, but that was a moment for him to remember from his trip to Melbourne. O'Neill clears the corner from Brimmer. Here's Stamatolopoulos. What a crazy game of football this has been. Bahaja with speed. All of a sudden things open up for the Jets. Taylor getting beyond. A chance to maybe add that double. Now he does. Brilliant from Clayton Taylor. He will not be denied. And it is 5-3.
This is the most outrageous game of football I think I can remember. I'm thinking Western Sydney Wanderers Brisbane Roar in a semi-final. That's what springs to mind, but this is outrageous. Clayton Taylor, this is such an assured finish. On the Harvey Norman replay, Trent Bahaja does what Trent Bahaja does so well, and that's use his pace to get into those areas. That's a really good release to Clayton Taylor. Just checking, are we checking for offside there on Clayton Taylor?
He looked to be on. He did so well to compose himself in that situation, get it onto his left and rip it into that bottom corner.
Melbourne Victory so open in transition. They lost the ball up high, and then really it was 2 passes and it was in the back of their net.
Well, belatedly, the 3rd goal is awarded to the Newcastle Jets. And amid the controversy of the goal that Clayton Taylor thought he should have been awarded just before, the Jets are back in this game. It's been an enthralling football game. And the Victory fans who thought this game was won and done, a little bit nervy once more.
But how good to see the fans back at Amy Park. The atmosphere is absolutely rocking. Even as an opposition coach and players, you love the atmosphere down there.
Here's Miranda. What an afternoon for Clayton Taylor. I mean, Bruno Fornaroli will still hog their headlines. But in just his 2nd A-Leagues game, he's got a double. Not any kind of double as well. He's shown his quality. And he could have had 3.
Incredible. Absolutely remarkable. Bruno Fornaroli really could have had 6 by now.
Came through at the Sydney FC Academy, Clayton Taylor. Robbie Stanton would have known a fair bit about him, of course, from his time at the Sky Blues. He's given him his chance at the Jets. Hasn't he taken it? Can they add another Newcastle? Plenty of time left. We've had some delays. Good 20 minutes at least remaining in this football match. Well, can the Victory put it to bed? Here's Matzan. Konomides on the overlap. Into the feet of Fornaroli. Here's Brimmer. Has Negro in space. He looked to clip over a dangerous cross once more. Natta with the defensive clearance. De Silva. Too strong for Stamatolopoulos.
Well, you want an advertisement for the A-Leagues. You're getting one this afternoon, Garby. It's had absolutely everything. It's had some quality football, a real battle between 2 teams, some fantastic goals, excitement, drama. It's everything that's good about this competition.
Daningham dueling with Zinedine Machach. The Frenchman who's added plenty of power and poise to this Victory midfield.
There's no doubt that he's got class, Machach. He's finding his feet in the A-League, the pace of it. He'll do that the more games he plays, but some of his touches, his combinations in tight areas with the likes of Arzani, you can see that's only going to get better.
Here's Moragas. The Jets will fancy themselves for a 4th here. Clipped over for Bayliss. Almost gets on the end of that ball on his starting debut. Paul Izzo's looking around, asking his defence what's going on.
And rightly so, because he should have got something on that, Bayliss, and if he got anything on it, it's in the back of Izzo's net. Great delivery from Stamatolopoulos, just lifted it into a dangerous area for that run of Bayliss, and any connection whatsoever, and you sense it would have been in the back of the Victory net.
What a 15 or so minutes we have ahead of us from Amy Park. One of the great games of A-Leagues football. Here's Trent Bahaja. Izzo stood tall. These Jets aren't done with yet.
Well, again, I have to say, it's a great chance for Trent Bahaja. I want to harp on about this, but the number of opportunities he gets through his pace, his conversion rate is nowhere near where it should be. I'm a fan of Bahaja, having worked with him in the past, but the conversion rate is something that he's really got to lift. He should have had a double.
Well, Tony Popovic is concerned enough to make another substitution. Connor Chapman's coming on in a moment for Ray Marzan. He may well walk away with the 3 points today, Tony Popovic, but he'll have some concerns about his team's defensive shape.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be plenty to analyse from a purist point of view, from a coach's point of view. There's so much to analyse from this game for both Popovic and Stanton. From a fan's point of view, more of the same, please, because this will bring many more through the gates.
Well, it may be hard to beat for game of the season. We're only 2 rounds in.
If I'm not mistaken, Popovic was managing the Western Sydney Wanderers for that semi-final against Brisbane Roar as well. 5-4, I think it ended.
We may go beyond that, the way this game has transpired. Some nice footwork from Callum Timmins in midfield. On for Grozos. Perth Glory product. A native of Birmingham in England. Here's Clayton Taylor. Scored twice for the Jets. Ingham up against Adama Traore. Looking far more composed on the ball at the moment, the Jets. Moragas has looked dangerous down this left-hand side, as is Taylor, who's got plenty of confidence about him at the moment. And he's won a free kick in a dangerous area, Clayton Taylor. Well, the confidence of 2 goals oozing through him. Had a strong run at the victory defence. And this is a very good look, perhaps, for Newcastle to get within 1 goal.
Well, we spoke about it earlier, Garby, as we see Taylor use his footwork to get at that Melbourne victory defence. And Marchand has had enough. He thought, I've got to halt his momentum, which he did illegally. It's a free kick in a really good area. But last week, Newcastle didn't go away against Perth Glory, and they are not going away today against Melbourne victory, despite conceding 5 already.
Stamatolopoulos fired a goal. Victory wall stands tall. Clipped in by O'Neill. Scrambled away. Now a chance on the break for Falami. Gets inside Taylor. Now Brimmer. Into the feet of Falami on his left. And he's straight at Ryan Scott.
He didn't get the purchase on that one, but Newcastle just dropping off Falami as he received the ball on the edge of the area. Good pass into his feet by Jake Brimmer. You've got to defend those situations on the front foot. You can't be backing off players in that area of the pitch, whether you know they've got the quality to hurt you.
O'Neill looking for Stamatolopoulos. Silva takes the safe option. Now we'll see Connor Chapman into the fray. A Newcastle Jets product. Is at his 5th A-League club. Come on for Ray Marzan, the 30-year-old Spaniard. In his 3rd season at the Victories, he just looks for a bit more protection. Tony Popovic in front of his back 4. The thoughts on Ray Marzan's afternoon, Mossy?
Fantastic. I think you know, he's controlled the midfield for Melbourne victory well. He's been a good link between defence and attack. He's a quality player, there's no doubt about that. Here's a thought for you though, Garby. Bruno Fornaroli is to score another goal. Do we change his name? Bruno Fiveroli?
Well, Phil Moss has just written the headline for you. Website editors, newspaper editors around the nation. Here's Trent Bahaja. Just straight offside. Certainly feels like there could be another goal or two, the way in which this game has gone. The Jets are getting in behind the victory defence. I'm not sure Bruno Fornaroli would have played the 85 minutes in a normal situation, but it hasn't been a normal afternoon for him. When you got 4 goals to your name, you wouldn't risk or dare taking him off in this move.
No, I dare say that may have been a small conversation at half-time between Fornaroli and Tony Popovic. The one thing you know about Popovic and any coach, they'll do what's in the best interest of the team, not the individual.
They don't have a true out-and-out striker on their bench, the Melbourne Victory, so it is something for Tony Popovic to ponder as the season goes on. But in the form that Bruno Fornaroli's in right now, you don't need anyone else.
No, but as you said, the key is keeping him fit and making sure that there is some depth there, because at some stage you'll need someone. You can't go through a whole season with one recognised striker, of course.
Ben Falami can play that role. Economides has been utilised in a central role too over his career. Right now, though, the Victory just need to see out this football match, because the Jets have shown they aren't done with yet. Here's the scorer of the opener, Mark Natter. His first A-League goal came in the 6th minute. Haven't we seen some storylines since? Clayton Taylor making a bit of a run at Bruno Fornaroli's place at the top of the Paramount Plus player index. And did well there, Stefan Negro, up against Lucas Moragas. They found one, the Jets, in Clayton Taylor. That's some shrewd scouting from Robbie Stanton, isn't it?
Yeah, he certainly showed some promise. There's no doubt about that. To be on the score sheet twice at a place like Amy Park in a game like this shows he's got some quality.
Fornaroli does well to find the feet. Economides, I mean, find the feet of Fornaroli. It's a back from Traore. Mr. Silva. Alami controls it well. Brimmer will look to switch. He'll hit Economides. His touch is a little heavy as he looked to cut inside. Fornaroli gives away the free kick.
It's a sweeping pass from Jake Brimmer, isn't it? Showing his range of passing. The Melbourne Victory midfielder. I think Economides was in two minds whether to take the ball down or try and clip it over the defender. Amounted to nothing in the end, but wonderful pass from Jake Brimmer.
Here's Machach. Clever footwork. Jets win it back. They need to start looking forward quickly again. Stepping off his line though well was De Silva to intercept. Machach over the top. Brilliant effort from Fornaroli with the outside of his right, looking for 5. And just for a moment, we thought that was going to loop into the back of the Jets net.
Well, the only surprise in that is it didn't make the Newcastle Jets net bulge. What brilliant athleticism and technique from Fornaroli. We shouldn't be surprised, but look at this for some interchange on the right-hand side. And then great delivery to the back post by De Silva. Bruno Fornaroli, oh so close to another contender for goal of the season in the same game.
De Silva found himself in an unfamiliar area on the right wing. It was a beautiful ball from the centre-back. And Bruno is just seeing them cleanly at the moment. Clearly and cleanly. He's striking them.
You make a good point. It's not often you see a central defender in an area like that deliver with that sort of quality. Look at those fans.
Well, the Melbourne City supporters once sung the name of Bruno Fornaroli inside the stadium. They must shudder at the thought of the Victory fans doing so. It has been Bruno's afternoon. He scored 4. And he's had 3 very good chances in the second half. Here's Bayliss in his starting debut. Looks like seeing out the 90 plus. Mark Natter clips it over. That's a bit wayward. Paul Izzo will look to waste a few seconds of the 9 minutes of stoppage time. So still time for the Jets to cause a scare. But there's a lot to do from this position.
There is, and no doubt Robbie Stanton will be like a bear with a sore head, conceding 5 away from home. But there's been some good things as well about this performance from Newcastle, some things to build on. No less than the likes of Clayton Taylor and Lockie Bayliss. Grozos has been a little bit quiet in midfield today compared to last week. The energy's back for Melbourne Victory. You can see it already last week in the Big Blue. Today, Tony Popovic has obviously done a lot of work on the mindset in the pre-season.
Well, everything that could go wrong did go wrong for the Victory last season as they looked to add a 6th. And Falami with the enterprising run. Brimmer wins it back. Off Timmins. Switch it out wide. It's over the head of Economides. So it was just a disastrous season for them last time out. They would have tested everyone inside the Melbourne Victory Football Club as Daniel Wilbring looks set to come on for the Jets. The least of which would be Tony Popovic, of course. They had to respond strongly, and it's been an outstanding beginning to this campaign. The win away to Sydney FC last week, and then, while there is still plenty of time left in this football match and they have to see it out, they should be good enough from here to register another 3 points with 5 goals in the back of the net, 4 of them to Bruno Fornaroli. He looks to be at his sharpest at 36 years of age.
Yeah, that's right. And as I said, they didn't do a lot of talking off the pitch in the pre-season, Melbourne Victory. They've certainly done plenty of it on the pitch in rounds 1 and 2. Fornaroli, you can see he's prepared to drive this dressing room.
Economides helping out his defence. Thumbs up from Fornaroli for his persistence. Still time for the Jets to give all inside Amy Park an almighty scare. They took the lead, you might remember, 6 minutes in. Fornaroli responded straight away and proceeded to score 3 more to half-time. It's been some sort of football game.
It really has. It's had everything. Bar an offside flag, we would have had a red card as well.
We might have more. Lovely ball from Bachach to release Economides. Up against Gancha. Will hit the byline and get it across the Jets' 18-yard box. Mark Natter watches it closely and coolly and over for a corner.
Seems a long, long time ago since he registered the first goal of the game.
And his first A-Leagues goal.
But a lot to work on. Tony Popovic will be happy with the 5 goals, of course, but conceding 3 at home will be a point of discussion and analysis this week.
Jake Brimmer, the 2022 Johnny Warren medalist. Take this set piece. And the Victory out of 6th. Cleared away by Bayliss. Negro loops it back over, looking for Fornaroli. Out for a corner. Goal kick, sorry. May have been offside. Anyway, Bruno Fornaroli, it matters little. What an afternoon for him.
That'll be an absolute highlight. As I said earlier, he was on A-Leagues All Access during the week. A brilliant episode, a really brilliant episode. Shows. Let's go.
They go down the left. The Jets to Dane Ingham. Well done by Economides to get back and just guide that away from Ingham. The Jets still pushing on the break. Ingham's ball to the back post, looking for Taylor. Knocked across for Timmins. Bahagia loops it over the crossbar. There's a collision with Izzo, but the Jets go oh so close to making it 5-4.
And it should have been 5-4. That there's no doubt. All Bahagia had to do was keep that down. It's another chance gone begging. He could have had a hat-trick, should have had a hat-trick. In this second half, Bahagia off the bench. You see the delivery to the back post by Ingham. And Taylor just lifts it into a great area. That's harder to miss than it is to score, let's be honest.
It was Wilmering with the cross, in fact. And Bahagia should have done better. Izzo put him under pressure and has copped a knock for his work. But that was a crucial intervention in the end by the Victory goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was. He did enough to put some doubt into the mind of Trent Bahagia. But again, in those situations, you've just got to be brave. If it takes putting the ball, the goalkeeper and yourself into the back of the net, that's what it takes.
But there seems to be some spirit about the Newcastle Jets in the early stages of this season. They managed to snatch a late equaliser last week over in Perth. They were down 4-1 at one stage, but have kept coming here in Melbourne. They're asking questions right until the very end of this Victory defence. And they might not be done with yet. Here's Wilmering, flipping it over the top, looking for Timmins. Connor Chapman sees it over the byline. They may not have the deepest squad in the A-League, the Newcastle Jets, but there certainly is some young talent there.
There certainly is, and they'll be really aggrieved that Taylor goal should have been overturned for mine, and that brings them right back into the game. I think the VAR definitely got that one wrong. It was Stefan Negro who played Stamatolopoulos back onside for mine, and then the delivery to the back post, Taylor's finish. Could have been a very different outcome.
Robbie Stanton may have something to say about that in his post-match interview with us. Make sure you stay tuned for the post-game show here on Paramount Plus. O'Neill to Bayliss. Here's Ingham. The Jets will push again. Natter into Wilmering. Dangerous cross, Stamatolopoulos with the header. Here is Bayliss. Fizzes it across the Victory 18-yard box. It's too high though for Taylor. The calls come for a little composure there from Bayliss just to keep that down. It was a delightful ball in from the left.
Yeah, it was well crafted, wasn't it? Wilmering lifting it into the good area. Stamatolopoulos gets something on it. Just, you nailed it. It just needed some composure there, Garby, from the youngster, Lockie Bayliss. They're the moments that can make all the difference. I know we're late into this game.
Can they launch one more attack, the Newcastle Jets? Taylor and Wilmering again. Wilmering gets around Negro. Slices that one though. Out for a goal kick. And your Wilmering, recruited from Western Sydney, along with Philip Canchar, just to boost the stocks at Newcastle.
I'll tell you what, as the clock ticks towards full time now, there can be no argument for value for money this afternoon. This has been an absolutely ripping A-League game.
It's had absolutely everything, including 4 goals for Bruno Fornaroli. At 36 years of age, he'll see out 99 minutes. It is an afternoon to remember for Bruno. Fornaroli with 4, the Victory with 5. Tony Popovic is 2 from 2 to start the A-League season. But the Jets well and truly added to the party.
Yep, Fornaroli with 4, Melbourne Victory with 5. Tony Popovic was 6 points from 6 to open this campaign. Everything is on track for Melbourne Victory early on. Fantastic goal-scoring performance from that man, Fornaroli. Plenty to work on for Popovic with the ball and out of possession. Robbie Stanton with a good foundation to work from despite the scoreline today. There's some really promising aspects to Newcastle's performances in the opening 2 weeks as well.
It's quite something, isn't it, when players in the twilight of their career against all odds tell you that they're not done with yet. That they maintain the belief that they've got plenty more to offer when everyone else suggests otherwise.
Yeah, I still maintain when he put away that equalising goal, his reaction to scoring that goal, I think shifted the dial for his side. The mindset, how quickly he ran back to halfway. He didn't want to celebrate the goal, he wanted to encourage his teammates to switch their brains on, and they certainly did that.
We'll hear from Bruno in a moment, no doubt. But it is Fornaroli's 4 and the victory 5 over the Newcastle Jets 3 in what has been a pulsating afternoon of football at Amy Park. And let's get down to Michael Zappone.
Yeah, thanks, Garby. We'll hear from Bruno in a moment because he'll be our Isuzu Ute player of the match. But Nishan Velupillay played a big part for Melbourne victory this afternoon. Scored right behind me. That would have been a fun moment for you.
Yeah, good feeling. Yeah, awesome fans. Good to have them back. Good to see this place is bumping again. So, yeah, it was good to get the win today.
You picked up the ball from inside your own half too, and you saw 50 metres in front of your open space. You enjoy that position, I'd imagine?
Yeah, pretty fortunate to slip up like that. But, yeah, it was good to see. I had a lot of space in front of me and a lot of suspense, I guess, before the finish, but it was good to score.
Are you the quickest in the team?
I put myself up there, but yeah, we've got some pretty fast boys, so yeah.
Well, I reckon you would have given Usain Bolt a run for his money too today, especially. What about the game as a whole? It's a pretty crazy one. I'd imagine Popper will be talking about the fact that you conceded 3, but as an attacking player, you'd like to focus on the fact that you scored 5.
Yeah, I think we played, it wasn't our best football, but to know that we can score 5 goals when we're not playing our best is a good thing. Obviously, we want to limit how much we're conceding, but it's still early in the season. We've got a lot to improve on, and yeah, 3 points is all that matters today, but we'll learn from this and keep going.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
All right, Clayton Taylor joins us now. Just his second game. Clayton, congratulations, mate, on a brace. Could have been a hat-trick too. It was a crazy game, wasn't it? Do you think you could have got a little bit more out of it?
Yeah, obviously disappointed to have let in 5 goals and, you know, dropped the 3 points there. But I think we had a good second half, good turnaround. Down 4-1 at half-time to win the second half 2-1. I thought we improved a lot in the second half. And, yeah, disappointed not to get the hat-trick. But, you know, if it's offside, it's offside.
You were 4-1 down, and what impressed us watching on the sideline was the fact that you never gave up and you kept coming at Melbourne victory. And is that there the belief there that you could get something out of the game even though you were 4-1 down?
Yeah, well, obviously, if they've scored 4 goals in the first half, then, you know, we can go out and score 4 goals in the second half. So, you know, we're going to keep fighting all the way till the end of the 90 and, you know, see if we can turn the game around.
Pretty big atmosphere for you to score your first A-League goal too. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, it's very different from what I've been playing before, and yeah, it's great atmosphere. And yeah, last week in Perth was pretty good, and then this again.